All right, Chelsea, we're excited to welcome a special guest to the show that we're chatting with here today.
Yes.
Originally from Minnesota, now living in Nashville, please welcome Cori
Cori
Kennedy. Of
Kennedy!
Hello,
course,
everybody.
Cori, you were just announced as the all-day performer at Freedom Fest on Saturday, July 18th. You're going to be rocking the side stage all day long. This could be your first festival, isn't it?
Yeah, we're super excited. Yeah, this 2026 is going to be a lot of news for me, but it's fun. We're excited.
I love this so much, Cori. And you have, we know you from the clips that they released Freedom Fest on The Voice. That had to be so incredible. But when did that little spark for your love, for your soul, for music start? And now you're here and now you're performing festivals.
Yeah, I love doing music. I started out when I was younger playing piano. And I remember my first recital, I think I would have been, oh lordy, in maybe fourth or fifth grade. And I was playing Ode to Joy, but then the closer got to play Thousand Miles. And I was like, that's so unfair. So I quit lessons that day and then I taught myself from there. So like I grew up in athletics all the time. That's what my family's known for. But my grandparents used to give me the keys to their little country church, and I would go out there and sing and play piano all the time. So it's something I always did on the side, loved doing it, but it wasn't something I could necessarily put in the spotlight as, athletics was paying my way through college and this and that. So once I got done with college softball, it was kind of a whole new world. So I got to finally pursue some music, and then I started writing, and the rest is kind of history.
So, Cori, you were raised in Minnesota. What was the name of the town? I didn't even know. I was born and raised in Minnesota, Chelsea, as well.
Yes.
I didn't even know where are you from?
West Concord, yeah. It's off of 57. It's over by, oh gosh, I'm like trying to think of like a Minnesota map in my head. But I went to school at Cass and Manorville, but yeah, we're in the West Concord. My grandparents, they go to church in Bern. It's like hardly a town. I think it's considered a town because there's someone with like a mechanic business or something there. I could have that wrong, but it's very, very small.
Are there any stoplights, or are there more churches than bars, or?
Oh, well, I don't think there's any stoplight. We used to have the only stoplight in the county, but they took that out and they put a roundabout in there. So, yeah, and the roundabout's too small, so all these big pickup trucks and stuff, they just have to drive over the hump of the center of it
Oh,
anyway.
no.
But yeah, no, she's tiny.
Of course, they put a roundabout even in one of the smallest towns in Minnesota. That's like the
Yeah,
biggest
two of 'em.
grievance here.
Two of 'em,
Two
yeah.
of 'em.
Mhm.
Jeez. All right.
At what age, Corey, did you know that you wanted to be a singer and pursue this career? Was it really young, or did your parents push you to do it, or?
No, music is kind of something in my family that has always been my thing. Like the rest of my family, we joke that they can't carry a tune in a bucket. Yeah, I'm the only one who does music. But yeah, I didn't really even get the chance to think like, oh my God, I could do this as like a thing full time until, oh my gosh, maybe a year or two ago. Before it's something I always did on the side, but I'm also kind of a realist. I was like, Corey, no way is this gonna work out. You're like stuck in Minnesota. There's not a lot for country music up here. Like I've never even played with a full band before. So going on The Voice was my first time with the full band, and that was the moment where it's like, I can really do this and I want to. So as soon as we got done filming the show, my fiance and I, we quit our day jobs and we moved to Nashville, and everything has worked out perfect since then, which we're very fortunate because you hear a lot of stories of people that come to Nashville and it can kind of be a nightmare city a little bit, but we've just really got to, build our circle and also build my team for Cori Kennedy. And I've been very, very fortunate.
So
So
10 toes in. You just
Yeah.
came involved right into it, full send. I
Yeah.
love that. And you never played with a full band. So when you auditioned for The Voice, was it just you and a guitar, you and piano?
It was one of those things. I got reached out by a talent scout. They found my TikTok, which was super crazy. Yeah, they found my TikTok, and like at that point, I had just told my fiance, I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna try and post like once a week just to try and be consistent, see what happens." And then like talent scout came along, and they were like, "Hey, I want to pitch you to the network," and then you go through all these little steps and cuts and whatever, and then they finally say, "Hey, we're gonna fly you out to LA," and then yeah, you get out there and I had only ever played music with just me and my guitar, so, like, I lied to them. They were like, "You have band practice." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, those band practices. I've never done." So,
Me
but
and
I didn't say anything. I was like, "Just fake it till you make it. Like, you got this. Like, if you can play and sing and do all the stuff by yourself, like, a band will make it much easier." So, yeah, and it all clicked. It all clicked. Thank God.
So, Corey, when you were about to go on stage for the first time during the blind auditions, what was going through your head? You didn't seem like you were nervous.
You were so cool.
It was one of those things because obviously you have rehearsals with the band and like their vocal team and stuff leading up to it, and you're nervous. Oh my gosh, like I started there when I got home from LA, I was still rocking in my sleep because I was still like feeling the anxiety of it. But then it's one of those things when you step on stage, and I don't know if this is like my softball background and like you once you're on the stage, it's like worst thing that could happen is they don't turn around and then it's just like it's now or never. So it's like from my athletic side, it's like I that gamer mentality still. So then you get on stage and it's like, all right, we're standing here in the dark, then there's the red chairs are in front of you and just sing the song. Worst thing that could happen is they don't turn around and I go back home and I go back to selling furniture. So that was it.
So
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to play a clip from The Voice,
Yeah.
and it's a shorter clip, but after it's done, I want you to walk me through what you were feeling at that moment, okay?
Okay.
Sister, what is your name and where are you from?
Cori Kennedy. I'm 28 years old and I'm from Castle Manderville, Minnesota.
Minnesota in the house.
I actually wrote a song about me meeting the four of you. Is it okay if I play it for you guys?
Really? Get it to me, girl. Get it to me.
Alrighty.
Go like this.
Well, I'm just a girl from a zero stoplight town, Minnesota roots, and wearing hand-me-downs. From dreaming in the dark, I step out and rejoice. My grandma won't believe me that I'm singing on The Voice.
So has anybody ever done something like that before in the show?
Awesome.
I don't think on USA anyway. I don't know about worldwide because there's a few of the voices, but yeah, they contacted me. At this point, they knew I was flying out, and then you get out there and they divvy amongst all y'all and they cut people. But they were like, hey, we have this idea since like your social media, you're known. I'm almost known for being a songwriter than a singer. So they were like, would you want to write something and just kind of do some fun stuff with the coaches? So I was like, do you want me to roast them? They go, yeah, that would actually be a good idea. Let's do it. And I was like, ooh, okay. So I went home from work because they called me while I was at work. So I get home from work. I still have like my work pants and my blouse on and my jacket and blazer. I wrote it in like 30 minutes and I had to send it back for approval. And they were like, we love this. Don't change a thing. They're like, oh my gosh. So then they had to get like approval. And the thing too about this is I had to sign away the rights to it for them to play it.
No.
So I was like, you know what? That's fine. Cause then I was like, that's fine. That's fine. But when they sent me the legal paperwork, there was a blank spot on the paper and it said like, untitled song. I go, can I change that? And they go, no, you can leave it if you want. But I was able to edit it, so I named it Cori Kennedy's song because I was like, I'm gonna have credit in this one way or another. So yeah.
Yes.
So when you performed the blind auditions, were you expecting Reba to turn around, or all four of them, or nobody? What were you thinking?
You know, it was funny because they would interview you leading up. You do all this B-roll and whatnot, and they're like, you know, who do you want to turn? And you're just kind of like, anybody.
Anybody.
Anybody. I mean, obviously Reba. I went out to LA wanting to be on Team Reba. So yeah, when she initially turned around, I actually didn't see her turn around at first because I was like singing, I'm playing my guitar, singing, I'm playing my guitar, and I look up and her bright blue eyes, I was like, oh my gosh. And as I go to look back down to my guitar, that's when I saw Michael Bublé turning around too. And I was just like, and in that moment, it's very just like, oh, thank God. Like, it's just so freeing. It's like, I'm going to sing the song. Like, it's fine. Like, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. It's great.
I love it. I love it. Because they're kind of like your heroes, right? You grew up listening to them.
Yeah.
You admire them so much. And then they're like right there in front of you, adoring you. And rightfully so for the gift that you have, Cori. You have a beautiful gift, honey. I could just feel good energy from you. Maybe it's the Minnesota thing, who knows? But and I also love your other choice where you did Up for the Battle with Something Bad.
Yeah.
Miranda, which one are you more of?
Between the two, I would say I feel like I'm more Miranda because like her early stuff when she's like singing about, you know, gunpowder and lead and she gets to kill some people in her songs and whatnot. And also she does a lot of her own writing too. So I feel like in that sense, I'm definitely more Miranda.
So if Snoop would have turned his chair around, would you have picked him?
Oh my gosh. You know, I don't even know because, you know, people even ask like, oh my gosh, you know, even would you have picked Michael instead, knowing how it would have turned? And it's like, you know, you can't even do like the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like,
No.
It all happened. It was great, but it was fun because after I did that original song, Snoop was like a really big fan of mine. So like There's a lot they don't show on camera. So like when you're done performing, you go up to the coaches, they chit chat. Like Snoop was my guy. Like Snoop, he was great. Yeah, Michael, they're all just really fun, and Niall smells really good. You know, everyone's a good time, and you get to, you know, I would never, I don't think of another scenario where I could have met 4 people that are like that famous in my life, and it's just crazy.
I love that,
So,
Cori.
so if Blake was still on the show and he turned around, would you have been Team Blake, you think, or still?
No, I'm going Reba. That's my girl. And they're like, "Oh, Cori, but you got eliminated." It's like, hey, there will be no Reba slander in this household. I don't know what
I
you're talking
love
about,
that.
but yeah, no, it's been fun.
That is so amazing. So Cori, now you're in Tennessee now. You're going to be working on some things. We kind of talked off camera a little bit. You're teasing some big things coming up on your, so just follow your socials. But what's next? I mean, that had to been such, was it like a super affirming experience to be on The Voice, to go through that, and now you're like, here I go on my journey? Are you still kind of like, it feels like a dream? Now I'm going to be performing for Freedom Fest in my home state, commanding that stage in front of tens of thousands of people. Where are you at right now?
It's kind of like this weird mix of like, oh my gosh, like all these things are happening. It's so crazy. Like I'm so lucky, but then it's also like, you know, there's been a lot of work behind the scenes where it's like, you know, if it finally feels like we're to the point where we're starting to reap some of those benefits, and it's been really, really awesome. And then, you know, I got to bring management in the picture because, you know, my journey was very, very different because even before The Voice, before that aired, I went uber viral overnight on social media. And so in that moment, it was already, we had labels and publishers and managers calling, but I knew I was going to go on The Voice. So I was like, I don't want to take any deal just yet, because I would have no bargaining power. Because you hear, you know, nightmare stories of people signing a bad deal. That's because, you know, they don't have a good team or a good lawyer or whatnot. So I declined all of that. But there was one manager who was really, really, really awesome. And he was just kind of like, he told me exactly what was going to happen in the coming weeks. And he was just so full of advice. And he was like, you know, I'm going to be honest. I only really manage people who are a commercial product. You're not really a commercial product yet, but oh my gosh, you have my number. Please use me as a resource. Like, welcome to the music industry. And I was like, okay, continued to use him as a resource. He was awesome, so great, a lot of great insight. And then my audition airs on TV and he calls me and he goes, you are 100% a commercial product. When you go to put your name in, when you pick a manager, I would like you to put my name in the hat when that time comes. So we had already been in cahoots for about 8 months, and then we made it official in November. And since then, everything has been really awesome. So now it's just kind of slowly building that professional team with, you know, your agency and a publishing deal and a label deal. But those are all things that are, you know, this has now become the business side really fast. So, but it's been really fun.
Do you like songwriting better, or do you like performing, or is that kind of a hard question to answer?
It depends. It depends. Like I love to perform. I love it. But I love to write too. But the nice part is like now I get to write a lot of my own songs and perform them. But I write so many songs that are coming out of my ears. So now we get to write for other artists as well. So, you know, I've had the opportunity down here to go into Sony and write for a couple other people, and it's been really, really awesome. So yeah, and co-writing, it's just kind of like a puzzle piece when you're working with an artist, like, okay, who is this artist? What's their vibe? Like, and then they tell you what kind of story they're trying to tell, and you got to try to mend it into their style. So I've just been learning a ton. I've just come down to Nashville and want to become a sponge. So
I love that. And you are. And it's not just country music down there. It's a little bit of
everything.
everything. And
Uh-huh.
you're seeing even the weather's beautiful down there. It's just Nashville's such a vibe and such a mood, and like just a creative factory down there. So
Mhm.
I'm so grateful that you have a good team around you. I pray that you continue to have good people to just keep you grounded and lift you up. And this is just so incredible. We cannot wait to have you here in just a few months at Freedom Fest. What are you going to do to prepare for all this music? Can we get a little sample of what is Cori going to be bringing to that stage?
You know, we were going through, we're like, okay, you know, we're going to have a lot of opening support, then we'll headline here and there. So we're kind of debating how many Corey songs do we want to do, and then how many fun covers do we want to mix in. So I have my band assembled, which was super fun putting a band together, and we've
Who
had
has
some
a band?
rehearsals. Yeah, and they're so talented. And you know, I get reminded every day just how talented people are in this town. I'm like, oh my gosh. But anywho, you know, they were like, you know, your originals are so fun and just so different. They're like, I think we play like most of your originals in like maybe 4 4 covers. So it's like, okay, so if you come to a Cori Kennedy show, you can expect to hear a lot of Cori Kennedy songs, and we are not a cover band. This is a Cori Kennedy band.
But are you going to be singing something bad? That's what we want to know.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something about that song. That song darn near killed me. That song is very hard to sing. It was at the top of my range. And I'll tell you that it's much easier to sing with 2 people. Yeah, that song, and you don't know where to breathe. Like, you're singing at the top of your vocal range, you're belting, you got to growl it out, and then the verses are so fast, you're like rapping. I don't know
Cori
if that'll
does like her spins. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that one will be in the set list. That one would be pretty hard to sing alone. I don't know where I'd breathe, to be honest. Yeah, no, we'll definitely throw some "Why Not Me" in there, and then a bunch of other Cori Kennedy fun stuff.
So before we wrap up, Cori, a couple of things that people may not know. You went to college in Minnesota too, right?
Sure did. I went to Minnesota State Mankato.
Woo!
Very nice. You played what sport?
Softball.
I played softball there, and we took home the 2017 NCAA title. So now my whole body is falling apart
Heck
now.
yeah.
So.
Now, I'm a softball girl too, Cori. What was your position, or did you have a couple?
I was catcher. I dabbled at third base a little bit, but no, I was catcher. Like, when we had our championship run, I caught every game that year, and I think it was 71 games. So
Dang.
yeah.
So that explains a lot, because this girl has her eyes on the infield, outfield, all the basemen. She's guarding home plate, and she's constantly getting everything thrown at her, which totally explains why you're so awesome, Cori.
Yeah, and you know what? Playing college softball, like, because I had, Lori Meyer, she's like a legendary coach, and then Wolcott. Those are 2 tough women, so they made me feel like a badass a lot, because they kind of teach you just that you don't take any crap, you're tough, and that's how it is.
So what have you injured playing softball? Was it your ACL, meniscus?
Oh my gosh,
knee,
everything. I blew up my ACL in the state basketball tournament, and then recovered and still went on to catch in college. The meniscus is still torn. I tore out my rotator cuff. I had bicep tendonitis, and then I just tore my Achilles about 2 years ago, and then they had to do a double skin graft surgery with it. So I have 2 holes in my foot. So
the Lord is like, Cori, music now.
Yeah, music. Look, Cori, let's slow down. Let's slow down.
Less contact. you have to squat down on stage.
Don't be jumping off stage or off speakers or anything.
Nobody's going to be colliding with you.
Oh God, no! Because people are like, are you ever do a stage dive? And I'm like not light. I know who I am. I'm not going to jump on anybody. That would not be good.
We got farm boys. They can handle that.
And finally, real quick before we let you go, I know Chelsea's waiting to talk about this. I see that you like to bake sourdough. Chelsea just got into it, so I'm going to bow out of this conversation. You guys talk about your sourdough.
No, Chris, you need to lean into this conversation, okay?
He made fun of it.
I eat it, but
he made fun of it. He's like, it's an active culture, and it's living in our
fridge.
kitchen. And what's in the Dolene is her name.
Well, first of all, it's only active because Chris, the bread you're eating anyway has gluten in it. That's just how we make the gluten for this bread, okay? And it's so good. And you can make it anything. Like, my famous recipe is my sourdough chicken pot pies, and they're phenomenal. My fiance, he makes sourdough cookies. He's in on it too. He makes the bread better than I do nowadays, because when I left for LA, I gave him my starter, and I was like, you need to take care of her. Like, this is your job now. So he had to make all the bread while I was gone, but...
Does she have a name?
Dolene.
Mine's Dolene too.
Yeah, mine's Dolene. So I didn't have a name for it, and then on social media, people are like, "What's the name? What's the name?" So I let social media vote on what the name was going to be. So they picked Dolene. So we kept
that.
So you're making me look bad here as Chelsea's husband. Your fiance actually makes it. I don't. I stay away from it.
No, and the thing is too, because at first he was like, "Oh, it's kind of hard." I go, "It's bread. You can figure it out, and you're not going to be too hard, and I'm going to get out of it." No. You can do this. So he's very good at it. We make it in bulk too, because we give it to everybody around here. Like, if I go to a writing session, or I go to band practice, or I even go to the doctor around here, I'm like handing out sourdough bread to everybody. So we're making like 10 loaves at a time, which is really, really heavy dough. So we both have to hold the container to like pick up and slap the dough around. He's more involved in the bread now than I am. It's crazy.
I love that. I need your tips. I called them my apostles. I did my 13th loaf. She was born on December 7th, so it was 13 loaves. The first loaf I made was overproof, so heavy. Chris picks it up and he's like, "Honey," he's like, "this is like a bowling ball." And it'll still taste good. I'm working on it. This isn't easy. And it's like a 24-hour process just to get that first loaf. And then I tried a cheddar jalapeno loaf. Did not turn out, but I'm getting the ear down, I'm getting the crust down, I'm getting the rise down. It's taught me patience, which I never had before.
Yeah,
So,
the thing with sourdough bread is, I'll say this, I tell this to everybody. It's only as hard as you make it, because some people are like, oh, you gotta let it proof this long, and this is the 48-hour loaf, blah, 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 blah. We've been making bread for thousands of years, okay? So I have the simplest recipe ever. I feed it in the morning, make the dough in the afternoon, throw it overnight, and I throw it in the oven the next morning when we get up. It's that easy.
I love it.
You
I
guys will
need to
have plenty
share.
of,
I gotta share my recipe. I'll share my
Please
recipe
do.
because it's so simple.
you guys will have a moment or two at Freedom Fest, I'm sure, to talk about this. What you don't know, Cori, is we're going to be with Wild Country 99. We're going to be taking up residency. We're going to have a campsite party area there, and it's going to be awesome. We're actually bringing some buses full of our listeners who have won, so they're excited to see you. We're excited for you to come to Freedom Fest to get back home.
Oh, that's so cool. No, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time. Cori Kennedy, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. You're such a blessing, and we can't wait to party with you at Freedom Fest.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
And Cori, again, you have some things that are in the works that you can just tease, but there are some things that are coming up that people should be watching for.
Yeah, we've got some fun. We got some fun news coming. And we've got some really, really big plans for 2026. And we're already talking 2027. So if you want to keep up with it, you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's just my government name, Cori Kennedy. So you can find me anywhere.
It's spelled Cori Kennedy,
Yep.
Kennedy. Well, we'll
That's
see
right.
you. We'll see you in July, Cori.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Awesome.